Hey everybody, we are here baking bread with my awesome bread maker. And haven't owned a bread maker until just recently from my mother-in-law. She got it at a yard sale and decided, why not play around with it. And so I had no idea, it didn't come with any type of cookbook, but I was able to notice what the brand was. It's Well Built. And from there, I went online and I actually printed out a whole recipe book based off of this specific bread maker. And so if you're gifted a random bread maker or find one in a yard sale, you can always look online to find the right ratios to bake your bread. So I'm just going to walk you through the simple components of a bread maker. And I love making my own bread, especially for like sandwiches. It comes out so good. And it's 3 components to your bread maker. And so if you are shopping for one, just make sure that everything's included here. So the first thing is going to be this red rubber attachment that'll fit on the bottom. And it's actually what this whole container is going to sit on. And so that's the next part that you're going to place in there. And it kind of fits and clicks. And then from there, you do have your handle. And this part is what the bread maker is all about, is that it mixes it for you. It has the heat to kind of let it rise and then kneads it for you by mixing it again. And you never have to touch it. That's the coolest part about it. So when all that is attached, you're ready to go. You want to put your liquid ingredients first, meaning your water. So 3/4 cup of water. I am making a 1 pound loaf. So I'm going to add that to the bottom. Next thing I'm going to be adding is going to be my sugar, salt, and oil. And sugar, it calls for about 4 teaspoons. To me, that's a little bit much, so I'm kind of going to cut that in half. So kind of going to do about 2 teaspoons there of sugar. And this is just your basic bread. And that was salt, but that's all good because it actually calls for 1 teaspoon of salt. So this is going to be a little saltier, and that's all right. We're just going to go with it. Y'all are really getting to know how I do things in the kitchen, is just go with it. Okay, so getting back to my sugar, we've been watching that show, Nailed It, and I'm like, how do you put salt instead of sugar? Well, now I know, so respect for people. It's all good. Okay, so from there is going to be my oil. And we're going to be adding just 1 teaspoon of oil. So make sure I got my teaspoon on here right. Yes, I do. So 1 teaspoon of olive oil. And you can add an egg. It makes it a lot fluffier and softer. But we're going to just omit that for right now because I know sometimes eggs are hard to get during quarantine time. Flour, that's your base ingredient, right? So 2 1/4 cup of flour for my 1 pound loaf that I'm making. I am using an unbleached bread flour, so it has a stronger protein, more protein in it, so the gluten that's in there is gonna be give it a lot more structure. So we're gonna throw that on top of all my liquids, all my salt and sugar. And the last thing is your yeast. So you're kind of separating it out from your liquid. I am using a instant yeast, the Rapid Rise, so it's only going to call for 1 teaspoon of my yeast. And so what's really neat about yeast is that it's alive, and it's what's going to give that beautiful rise to our bread there. So make sure all my yeast gets in there. And then don't have to mix, don't have to touch it. All we're going to do now is just close it up. And then my settings, I have a medium, dark, and light, very simple. And typically I've been liking a lighter loaf. So you'll just click that on, let it run. It'll go for about 15 minutes, let it rise, and then knead it. And in 2.5 hours, I'm gonna have some fresh bread. So, yay! Hey guys, and welcome back. Our bread is done in our bread maker, and so we're gonna get it out of here. First thing though, you're gonna need some oven mitts because it's gonna be nice and piping hot when we take it out. So you'll have a little lever, and all you'll do is just twist and pull that out. And so this part is what's gonna be really warm. The awesome thing is that it should just slide out. Look at that. Look at our little loaf. He's so cute. I'll just set that to the side. Now, again, this was a little 1 pound loaf, and Remember that lever though, it's actually gonna be in the middle. And so I recommend already taking it out, and you can let it cool a little bit. I had it sitting in my bread maker for a while, but this part is so you can just take that extra bread off and eat it. Do it right now, so good. I do that versus cutting through it because I have a lot of nicks in there because I forget that it's in there. And then what we'll want to do, just cut right through that. You see that I'm using my bread knife, a serrated knife. You always want to use a serrated knife so it doesn't crush it. And look at that bread. Oh, beautiful. And I love to serve this up with a little bit of olive oil and some fresh ground pepper. And that's what I use to just dip it in there. And what's really nice is that because we have a healthy fat or healthy oil, it actually slows down the breakdown and digestion of it. So it's going to be a lot more filling and a perfect appetizer, perfect bread to use for lunch tomorrow. So I'm excited that y'all got to see it.